We put up emotional walls as a protective barrier in order to protect us from hurt and harm when others have done us wrong in the past. In the short term, it can feel beneficial in that it helps us navigate past painful experiences and to channel our energies in more positive things. In the long term, we become out of sync with the universe because it is not our natural state to be disconnected. We suffocate our emotional needs, and through that, we stop learning how to manage our emotions and become slaves to it instead of masters. Self-blaming and self-criticism begins to emerge as we are trapped in the past, unable to move forward. We are going to use shadow work to heal so that you can continue moving forward and receive your blessings that the universe has in store for you. Namaste, Sacred Masters. I'm Dr. Iwas Ukehi, Shadow Work NLP Manifestation Coach, and I'm here to help you with your shadow work and manifesting questions, as well as give you tips on new ways you can practice your self-growth. So don't forget to subscribe for Grabovio numbers on Tuesdays, pick a card shadow work on Thursdays, and shadow work manifesting tips on Sundays, so that you don't miss anything that can improve your life and find your light in the darkness. Today, we're going to talk about using shadow work to heal your emotional walls. Emotional walls are extremely potent blockages in that when we try to manifest, our emotional walls are the ones that stop us. When we think about emotional walls, we think about relationships, but it affects things such as money and abundance too. If you were emotionally indifferent to work, you think the world is against you or feel helpless. These affect your manifestations as well. The insidious thing about emotional walls is that it masquerades itself as a positive thing. Our conscious mind creates these emotional walls in order to protect us from anxious thoughts or feelings. Past traumatic events such as rejection, hurt, and abandonment are core issues that keeps us from developing real relationships with others. And it fools you into believing that by protecting you, it is a positive thing. The truth can't be further. But we build emotional walls not just from our past relationships, but it can start early in life as well. Anything from rejection, betrayal, or being treated poorly will lead us to building these walls that over time leads to isolation and resentment. Our walls become taller, thicker, and stronger, and they don't just keep people out, but they keep us from moving forward to our dreams, goals, and desires. Emotional walls destroy relationships, whether they be family, friends, or work. Many people like couples build such long, thick walls between them that they contemplate divorce or live in different rooms in the same house. Some even treat their partners like roommates rather than experiencing a divine and soul-connecting relationship. At the workplace, they could treat their colleagues with indifference. They may feel a lack of support or satisfied when they receive a promotion. They feel stressed and can't develop a team mindset and rather do projects alone. This all affects your success and abundance in life that you may be trying to manifest. Surprisingly, it is not the weak people that build emotional walls, but high achievers and perfectionists. These are also empathetic people that give more to others than themselves. These are good people. They are the most susceptible to hitting emotional walls and their stress levels rise. This means their cortisol increases and it gives them a hard time sleeping. Are you one of these people? Know that I'm making this video because shadow work may be for more tough, strong, and emotionally mature people, which is why I know you can get through this. And these emotional walls are not created due to a single incident. They could be very small incidents that build up over time. For others, it could be an inciting incident, but they all happen during times when we think we are vulnerable. That vulnerability uses our emotions as a scapegoat, and our conscious mind tricks us into believing it is all our fault. Thus, the emotional walls appear. So how do we use shadow work to heal our emotional walls? I have to say that this could be one of the hardest parts about shadow work, but no doubt emotional walls exist and we must really repair the damage over many years if we want to move forward. First off, I want you to take out your shadow journals and begin to list down everything in your past that has caused you to build these emotional walls. This will actually be the second most painful part of the process, but I urge you to bear with me as I cannot stress the importance of this. You have to be really honest with yourself. Sometimes going back to these memories can be tough and painful. Trust me, I know it. In some extreme cases of trauma such as abuse, please consider seeing a therapist. You can use the link above, or I'll post a description box below a link to where you can look for therapists. Therapy is essential for shadow work, as oftentimes we have wounds that are beyond our capabilities to handle on our own. Without a therapist, it may be hard, if not impossible, to move forward. Consider this to be an investment not only to yourself, but to the universe as well. But for those who are of emotional maturity, list down all the ways in which you have been hurt in the past. This can be anything from being betrayed or left out, basically any ways you have been treated poorly by somebody in the past. Don't try to worry about how small it is. You may think someone rejecting you nicely may not lead to an emotional walls, but remember, big things come from small beginnings. I want you to start by dividing them up into 3 categories: family, work, and relationships. And you can choose to work on each category based on its importance in your life right now. Now, for each category, I want you to put on the top who is the safest person you know in that circle. For family, it could be a sister, mom, or aunt. For work, it could be a colleague or the mailman. And in relationships, it might not be a partner, but it could be a best friend you confide in. Basically, anybody with whom you can practice allowing emotions through in safe environments. I know this sounds scary, especially if you're used to being a stoic rock, but take things in small steps. When you have identified your safe confidant, I want you to start taking note of positives or lack of negatives that occur whenever you have your walls up. By already listing them, you'll be more aware of situations that make you feel shielded, weak, exposed, like your throat is closing up, or maybe even anxiety. I want you to start realizing that not all situations have the same ending. They all don't end the way your conscious mind tells you. I know this will come to a shock to many of you, but actually, many times in your life, it has happened, but your emotional walls didn't allow your conscious mind to see it. This is called cognitive dissonance. So what you want to do is reverse the cognitive dissonance into positives. Start looking for the positives, and you'll begin to see it. In the beginning, trust me when I say it's going to feel very confusing at first. Most people mistaken this confusion, and in an effort to retain their truth, they reject the notion that positive things can happen. This is why, without realizing it, we shun away, push away people or situations that are positive for our growth and realization of our dreams. You may be wanting to manifest money, but you push a person who might be able to help you become successful because you question why he or she is so nice to you, and start to believe in your truth that this person could be a narcissist. In reality, good people do exist, but our cognitive dissonance, as well as our false sense of truth created by our conscious, fools us into thinking there is a reason for it. What happens is that in order to keep our truth, we become blind to what the universe has to offer to us. This is not to say that every experience will be positive, but you'll learn to manage the bad ones rather than run and hide away from it. So what happens when something bad happens and you go, aha, told you so? This is where sitting down with yourself comes in. In shadow work, what we do is we sit down with our emotions and deal with it. Find a quiet place where you can sit down and really start to feel this emotion. Do you feel betrayed? Were you treated poorly? Sit down with those feelings. This is the hardest part of shadow work, but the more you sit with them, the more you realize that these emotions are merely just your reaction to a situation. What the other person does has no power over you, but merely you gave the power to it by your reaction to it. Start to let those emotions go. Forgive yourself and those who hurt you. Sit with it, and you can literally feel it leaving your body, and it's a very cleansing feeling. But what if it doesn't leave the body? Then you have to go further back into your psyche, your subconscious, because your reaction to a situation could be your unhealed shadow child. And the unhealed shadow child is what causes you to react. And from the reaction, your conscious mind creates these emotional walls. Shadow child healing is very cathartic, but the benefits of it frees us from our pain by understanding it. We move towards wholeness and self-empowerment. You should read some of the comments in my 7-day shadow work course where people have experienced love, cried for realization, and every spectrum between it. I want to say I am offering this course completely free. It's not a gateway to buy anything because the benefits of your healing should not come with any monetary gains for me. I sincerely and truly want you to heal because together we can accomplish creating a healthier universal connection together as Sacred Masters. Here's the link to the beginning of the 7-day shadow work course playlist. I'll see you there. Namaste.